Yo, how you doing, Elios? Good afternoon, good afternoon. Alright. So, you know, there's some, like, big news today and stuff. There's some big news today, a little bit here and there. Blizzard's going a little more heavy-handed than we had actually expected when it came to all of the add-ons and stuff. What up, Natty? How you doing, Orange? No more tracking of party member cooldowns. This is a biblical UI. Comments melting down about it. I know. Yeah. Incoming heals won't be trackable. That's a weird one. No tracking group abilities or other players' cooldowns. This is a freaking mess. When it comes to kicks, not being able to track people's stuff, that's just silly. That's just really, really silly. Like, I don't quite know why they want to like make gameplay built around tracking cooldowns and coordinating them, and then they don't give you the tools to do it. And they're going to remove the tools to do it. If they're building an encounter that requires taunting at 4 stacks, the game should be better about giving the players that information. That's fine, yeah. No tracking specialized buffs or debuffs. These should be built into the default UI. Like, I don't actually know what this means. Do they want it so that Excel won't highlight the frames if they have a special debuff, and you just have to look for the icons, I guess? That's kind of what it sounds like. Yeah. The diminishing returns thing, like, they're gonna just have to change how DRs work, I swear. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is Blizzard would have to make the game less convoluted. Like, if you can't track other people's kicks, then there just has to be less kicks required in the game, you know? Yeah. Stun and other CCs be made more visible with DR. PvP add-ons might still tell you what classes you're facing, but won't tell you what cooldowns have been used. It's fine. Visual customization of nameplate style and scale will still be allowed, but conditional logic to change the way they look because of a buff or debuff probably won't be. So if they gain a buff or something like that. Auction house, quest helpers, gathering, roleplay add-ons shouldn't be affected. And they intend to improve the base UI, CD manager, edit mode, and the audio-visual clarity of important mechanics while reducing the number of random swirls and required kicks in turn. Yeah. Ian says that, though. He says that because we need these, it's their failure or bad design. Yeah. Won't be coming in 11.7 or 2. The goal is to improve WoW's native UI, narrowing the gap between players while removing the things the developers believe are unhealthy. Only then will add-on functionality be turned off. Yeah. So we knew like this was coming in some way with weak auras, but I'm surprised they're doing it with more add-ons. Yeah. Previously, Blizzard experimented with private auras that could not be read by add-ons and weak auras. The players circumvented that with in-game macros that told the mods when players saw they had conditions that have been kept secret. The aura is private, but you can just make a separate macro that pipes the information in, and now, whoops, you wipe because somebody hit the wrong macro or had a typo in their macro, and great, we've succeeded in making it even more frustrating. Let's never do this again. True. Oh god, so true. They want to improve the in-game cooldown manager, other effects. We know we're not going to replace a fully in-depth, customizable add-on that you've been using for years and tailored to your personal gameplay with something that we have as an initial fixed offering. But we're getting a whole bunch of feedback about the ways in which it would need to change. We need to add customization and improve it to make it feel like it could be a reasonable substitute for a more advanced power user. The goal is at the end of the day to get to a point where if asked, hey, do I need to use add-ons to play? The answer is, well, they give you a lot of options to customize your experience, but no, it's up to you. Today, if we're being honest, we can't say that. Well, good. Well, good. I'm glad. People think Omni CD is going, maybe, but Blizzard has not outright said that. Not every spec needs it, so it might hurt people, but I think they would adjust. I mean, they kind of did say it. No tracking group abilities or other players' cooldowns is basically Omni CD. Yeah. Yeah, seems like they're just gonna gut out Omni CD pretty hard. Oh, man. Oh, man. The goal is to reduce add-on capability, adding more baseline functionality as necessary to keep players from turning to ever more circuitous solutions. Just like using macros to circumvent private auras, if boss warnings and ability timelines aren't available, players might turn to outside resources like YouTube videos or pre-recorded sound files, providing audio countdowns timed with the start of a heavily scripted encounter. Oh man, we could make like the Jak pack. I could do a little audio pack for people. If all works out, dungeon and raid fights should just be as challenging, only without depending on carefully managed weak auras solving all the mechanics. Our goal is to deliver a baseline, a consistent level of difficulty that meets player expectations. I've seen discussions of whether WoW is harder than it used to be. If you measure that by player success rates, then no. We might tune a heroic end boss for ahead of the curve to be something that's going to take a couple dozen attempts for a guild that's in the core audience. What it takes to hit that mark is continuously increased in terms of complexity because our players have gotten more sophisticated. With this move, Blizzard hopes to dismantle the arms race between add-on developers and boss mechanics. A fight like Blood Queen, Lenethel, and Ice Crown had one simple mechanic, who to bite when you had a vampiric lust, and were about to be mind-controlled. That ramped in difficulty over the course of the fight, it would have been trivialized by a combat weak aura. No stress, no confusion, no need for communication, no need for backups. A fight that had exciting, frantic moments in 2009, 2010, gets transformed into something that's pretty ho-hum. I mean, it's been 15 years. Oh, shit. It's been 15 years since Blood Queen. Yeah. The pretty drastic will need to come with equally drastic change in encounter design. It will. We might have like an insanely easy raid tier if you think about it, where like they haven't nerfed all the add-ons yet, but they've like changed the fight design. Might. The idea is that this will force developers to be better about making mechanics visible and readable. Lethal costs should be better telegraphed, and it may result in less kicks being required in a pack, or a reduction in the number of bosses that place random damage swirls on the ground. A mechanic the team has come to lean on because add-ons can't predict or help with it. Shocker. At the end of the day, the game should be just as easy or difficult as it is now, with the goal of keeping a similar number of wipes and success rates across all difficulty, but putting the problems and solutions into players' hands rather than a weak aura. That's gonna make stuff harder. If you think about it, like, players have gotten so used to, like, the add-on solving it for you kind of stuff, that we either get, like, a piss-easy tier as they're figuring it out, or we get an ungodly difficult tier. There's gonna be some crazy, crazy growing pains with this system. Yeah. I think, frankly, this will stop letting us off the hook when we fail to do so. If you're riding a Katamari ball on sticks and you run into one of the 3 nameplates, you wipe the raid, but there are 90 things on screen, so good luck visually parsing that. He's probably speaking to his guildies who've wiped the raid by running into the balls. There are nameplate attachments and things the community has come up with to help solve that problem. We should have solved that problem. Our classes weren't designed under the assumption that you're going to have an unpredictable movement every few seconds, making those encounters less fun for casters. He said we just want more variety in a diverse design space. The toughest modern bosses with mechanics that require players to clump or head to specific spots might give a few more seconds to respond, or have fewer spots to go in a world without combat add-ons. Yeah, this is where they gotta, like, nerf the fights, basically. Yeah. A couple dozen pulls? I mean, that's 24 to 36 pulls. I don't know. What do we have for heroic Gallywix? What do we have? Chrome King heroic mode. First kill was 14 pulls. Yeah. I mean, you could literally just check the stats right now. Just type /ERT, go to statistics, set it to heroic. My guild killed it in 14 heroic pulls. I don't know. They would have the stats, though. Like, obviously, I'm in a hardcore guild and stuff. But I think what they mean by their core is, like, their consistent teams, their consistent guilds that are coming in time and time again. I don't know. If we know it's being solved for you and you're just being told to run a diamond, how's that challenging? How do we make it challenging? The only way is to only give you 2.5 seconds that you need some movement boost. Taking a Warlock Gate from point A to B, because otherwise anyone could do this. Priest life. Priest life. I think you're kind of latching on to this like number of pulls and stuff, Trail. I think you're kind of latching onto that a little bit. His whole point is basically that they don't want to massively increase or decrease the amount of pulls to kill boss fights. They want to try to keep that the same, and they want to find a way to do it while nerfing add-ons. Yeah. Yeah, this is especially shitty for healers. Yeah, not being able to track the group abilities is very, very shitty for healers. In a world where there's so many defensives in the game, and that you kind of tailor your healing and your expectations based on like what defensives people have up, it gets pretty messy. Yeah. Yeah, they got good ideas, however they simply cannot execute them correctly, like ever. I don't know about ever, but it takes them just a long time to like execute correctly. And there's a whole bunch of chaos that happens before then. Yep. Yep. Dude, this entire site is just lagging like fucking crazy. I love pop-ups. I love insane ads that slow down the website. Jesus. I can't even turn off my ad block. Stop. That's probably what's causing it to chug. I don't even know why they go to these. Stop. I literally don't even know why Blizzard does fucking interviews on these websites. Please close out these pop-ups. All right. Let's see if I can actually read this article. All the fucking slop that's on here. The cooldown manager is so utterly featureless it may as well not exist. That's a hilarious post. That's a hilarious post. Oh, man. Dude, I know. It's a fucking mess, dude. All these websites are fucking messes. Yeah. In-game solutions may not be as good, and that could be okay. He said, the task ahead of Blizzard will be challenging, but added that having a fixed development team and slower update cycle doesn't mean that Blizzard's solutions have to be a we have details at home meme situation, or that maybe it's okay if it is. Some of it is being guided by feedback to understand how we can bridge that gap for a majority of players, and to some extent accepting and hopefully getting folks to accept that it is 96% of perfect. Your performance relying on a rotation helper, Achille, is still inferior to someone who has it all ingrained as muscle memory. There's always a higher skill ceiling. It is a critical flaw if the highlighted combat assist for your next ability is not reflecting the latest theory craft that was discovered yesterday. I don't know if that should be a deal breaker. Yeah. I like the rotation helper thing, because there's so many times of like Coach Priest and people just like refuse to hit Powered Shield on cooldown or hit like Perv Mending on cooldown or something, and just having that like highlighted is gonna help people. But yeah, I don't have high expectations for this for like being a master level player, you know, and that's fine. It's totally fine. He was open to the idea of allowing players shared loadouts, like the tech strings currently used to share talents. It might improve rotation assist for those who wanted the latest theory crafting. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Wait, that'd be kind of wild. You could actually make your own version of the rotation helper or something like that and share it with people. That'd be wild. That'd be wild. Blizzard considers this a continued collaboration with add-on developers, perhaps even to the extent of partnerships that would allow amateur developers to contribute ideas or coding approaches. I don't want to close doors. We're always going to be listening. Our hope is that the thing we add are going to be things that can be reskinned and tweaked by add-on developers. So this is what I really hope long-term they're going to do, is that they like build these tools and then add-ons kind of tweak them or allow them to be like look a little bit different or be a little bit better customized for whatever you need. Hopefully something like that. That'd be nice. Yeah. This is the least invasive path that would accomplish the goal. It's not us setting out to smash a bunch of add-ons the way we're approaching it. What's the least collateral damage we can cause while addressing the issue? Goal is to build up the native functionality to increasingly narrow the gap between players using add-ons that assist with competitive functions and those who are not. Once we're most of the way there, there's going to be that last mile that consists of things that honestly we don't think are super healthy for the game. This is the private aura stuff we talked about. The company's building in all this functionality in part because they know players will find ever more circuitous routes to get the information. Yeah. Baseline consistent level of difficulty. Less swirls. No changes for classic. Yeah. Let's see. This is all pretty speculative as the team is still working to solve problems that players have created mods for. Lethal cast in dungeons should be telegraphed better, negating the need for mods that alert players when something bad is coming. Tracking of group abilities will no longer function in add-ons after the changes. So things like other players' CDs won't be visible. Might be fewer interrupts in a pack. So, yeah, this is so weird. Incoming heals will no longer be trackable, nor will specialized buffs or debuffs. But if they needed to be, that should be built into the base game. Holy shit, they need to be. Holy shit, they need to be. Yeah. Dude, I know, Burn. It's so bad. Fucking slop websites. Yeah. Yeah, the goal is keep similar number of wipe counts for normal, heroic, mythic, early versus late, similar success rates, but to tailor that to the world where the problems are, in players' own flesh and blood hands to solve, not an algorithm they've downloaded. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of players about to be gone? I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on how they actually iterate on it. I hope that it's not until, like, maybe this time in midnight. Maybe, like, dead center or late midnight before The Last Titan comes out. That's kind of the big thing for me is, like, they're going to be growing pains to it no matter what. There's just going to be growing pains. And I think the big thing is, like, when do they time it, or when do they start rolling it out, you know? So the corruption you want, Munch, is Void Ritual. What else are they gonna play? I mean, they're probably gonna play Fellowship when that comes out. Fellowship's probably gonna be pretty big. Well, that's the thing is, like, for a while they were glad that they didn't have to develop the features, but then it basically became, you need to have these add-ons to defeat the boss fight. And you need to have these add-ons to, like, sort through all this stuff, you know? Yeah. Smart enough to introduce all the UI elements from the start? Yep. They're literally building their cooldown manager and UI tracking and target-to-target type stuff all in advance. Going out of their way from the beginning. It's nice. It's really, really nice. And it's not even in alpha yet. You know? It's pretty sick. Counters will change accordingly. The changes coming to the current raid dungeons will be bad, but that won't be the case. Yeah, maybe it'd be a little fucky if you were trying to do like achievement runs for old bosses or something, you know? New players don't need any of these tracking CDs, kick type weak auras, and if they invest time and are playing certain content, they'll just get them. I mean, they will, but it's one of those things that, like, if they wanted to graduate into more competitive content, that's where they would need them. You know? There's an article talking about all the cooldown tracking, add-on smashing that they're planning to do long term. So. Well, the thing is, Club, there's just a really big disadvantage to not having add-ons, especially as like a healer. There's just like a really big disadvantage for not having them. And you need to go get them. If you want to like step up into more competitive gameplay, yeah, you need to get them. Yo, Zeev, they've had 26 months. Confused me about the whole process. Why not make the in-game changes, make the base UI better, and then slowly phase out add-ons? They are. That's what they say in the article. Yeah. Goal is to improve WoW's native UI, narrowing the gap. Only then will add-on functionality be turned off. Yeah. That's right, there's two Zeeves. Phasing out of add-ons will be good for the game. I hope so. It's all about execution. Like, if they could reasonably add all of these baseline features into the game, and then you could use add-ons to maybe skin them a little bit differently, or make them look a little bit different so that they would feel more comfortable or at home to replace the add-ons, that would work great. But it's all about execution. It's like, that's a good example. They're going to totally rug pull before the UI and encounters are up to snuff? Maybe. That's the thing. Maybe. You know? It's kind of like you want to make sure what is it? I'm trying to think of a good example. Private auras is the perfect example. Yeah, I guess that's probably the best one. Private auras were like, we're not going to let you track this add-on and this weak aura, and then people find ways around it. And then they don't do anything to make the game less complex. It just sort of like punishes you or adds extra steps to find your way around the problem. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on the first bullet point? The incoming heals won't be trackable thing is really silly. But they even backtracked on it, okay? This is super weird. They say it was somewhere else in the article, but they're like, if it needs to be, we'll let it, but we don't want to. Something weird like that. So it sounds to me more like something that they'll actually be like flexible on. But as an example, like if you're not going to track group abilities or other players' cooldowns, then like there needs to be less defensive cooldowns, or they need to be less powerful because this healer bases a lot of their decision making off of those things, you know? You know, kick tracking. You know, they said there's not going to be as many kicks, but are they actually going to follow through on that? You know? Yeah. Other things like that. They really know what they want. Maybe they're throwing out ideas, engaged with the reaction. That kind of seems like the case. I would say, yeah. I would not be surprised at all if this is just sort of like their opening argument, and then they're gonna relent on quite a few things. But they're just telling everybody in advance so they can like begin negotiations. If you think about it, you know, attention. Maybe. In old school RuneScape, that had something called RuneLight. It had improvement add-ons, and they sometimes advertise it. I think WoW should just not develop add-ons in-game, but maybe have an in-game link. Maybe. I didn't see anything about combat logging get removed. They would probably announce that in advance, because that would literally kill Warcraft logs. And I don't think that's going to happen, because they do use like Warcraft logs data for their own tuning and all that fun stuff. So that would be surprising. But at the moment, I don't see anything about that. Not a lot of kicks and keys right now. Disagree. But people will pull as many packs as possible to where they complain that there's too many kicks. If they reduce the kicks, people likewise pull more and more. I mean, you could literally just have other ways to stop you from pulling as many mobs. You know, having more mini bosses that deal high amounts of damage and stuff like that, so you can't pull too many mobs. Literally works. What do you guys talk about with killing the DPS meter? What are you guys talking about? They said they were going to add their own DPS meter in-game. Chat, just let me read the article, okay? I'll tell you what happens, and leave the reading to me, okay? We'll be good. Major changes for add-ons be an end of expansion change or start. I kind of hope that they start the process, like, midway through. I want them to do it, like, at this point right now in the expansion. It would probably be a pretty good time to, like, deal with some growing pains, you know? But, I mean, eventually we're going to hit a point where we drop a new raid, and it'll be the first raid without, you know, computational add-ons or weak auras or whatever. They won't tell you where to go, where to stand. And that raid's going to have to be pretty freaking easy. Because if it's too hard... oh, it's gonna cause a riot. How you doing, Thomas? So, where in the article does it say they're removing details, chat? Where? Yeah, new features like the damage meter might be rolled out, or on combat log functions are unlikely to be turned off. So having new expansion's best time? I think it's risky though, because it's a lot of... there's gonna be growing pains no matter what, you know? Chat, just let me read. Combat log functions are unlikely to be turned off. You could parse. Don't worry, you could parse. Yep. If they want to disable allied CD tracking that can't be done without live combat log tracking, I'm sure they'll find a way. Or they just won't follow through with it. They said they wanted to build their own details in-game. They didn't say they were going to remove details. Yeah. Kind of funny how after the alpha of Fellowship, a bunch of these changes are coming in because Fellowship didn't have any of that, but they're working on it. They're working on it. They are actively working on it. They have, Fellowship is already adding a lot of this stuff. They already are adding all this stuff. So they have their cooldown tracker in-game that they're working on. They added like nameplate and target uniframe. They're adding a lot, and this isn't even an alpha yet. This is some pre-alpha shenanigans. So
This as well.
I'm excited. Four-man and Fellowship should be hype. Just rotate friends in and out, you know? There's also a solo queue system, too. They said that they wanted to remove tracking for specialized buffs and debuffs on raid frames, and that they should be built into the default UI. I mean, that's pretty far-fetched to me. Their cooldown tracking and buff tracking is pretty horrendous right now, so... That's kind of like my Alamo, is like if they really fuck with healing a lot by making it so you can't track a lot of buffs and debuffs and everything like that in a reasonable way, that would be the thing that really like kill it for me. Yeah. Well, we never know what's going to happen in the future. But if they haven't made an announcement of we're going to remove this thing, then, like, there's no reason to freak out about them removing this thing. All it is just spreading FUD. Think they can do all that with what they're saying with the game engine? Well, they added housing, and if you watch those housing videos, that's some crazy stuff they're doing. So, I assume they can do whatever until they say otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, but apparently, I mean, the biggest issue I have with this whole article is they say, trust me, bro, we're going to improve these things so that you might miss a little customization, but it'll still have the same functionality that you're used to, and it's going to work out. And there's absolutely going to be some growing pains, and there's no way of knowing whether it's actually going to work out or not. This is probably one of the more, like, scary things that can come from it. So I hope that they take their time with it. I hope that they, like, really put a ton of effort and work into it. But if the entire thing hinges on them executing it really well, I think a lot of us know they'll eventually fix problems, but how long does it take? How long did it take for them to pull the ripcord for Covenants? How long did it take them to make, like, the borrowed power acquisition in BFA better, you know? And if it lasts, like, 2 years or something when they're going through this, it's going to be a nightmare for people. Well, the thing is, they even mentioned the edit mode, and they're like, yeah, we want to make edit mode better. Yeah, they intend to improve the base UI, cooldown manager, edit mode, and the audio-visual clarity. But improve is a pretty vague term. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to, like, cause panic. It just... We don't know what's going to happen until they do it. We don't know what's going to happen until they do it. But if their initial goal is, we're going to improve all this stuff, and then we pull out the rug, well, hopefully they make some pretty damn good tools. Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's gonna be, like, a period where you can run full add-ons before they remove functionality, and they'll have all these tools set up, apparently. Apparently. We'll see. Don't know exactly how that's gonna go. Don't know exactly how that's gonna go. Improve how? You can improve something that people don't want, and it's technically improving it. You're right. Technically correct, the best kind of correct. Shit, man, I don't know. I mean, they really should just, like, pick up all these add-on developers and then boot camp them at Blizzard HQ for a year. Teach them, you know, how to work WoW's engine and everything like that. You know. They say this is to bridge a gap for newer players. That tells me their own version of Player won't have all the features, or it'll overwhelm newbies anyway. Well, I think the big thing is making it so that, like, if Blizzard's baseline nameplates were not so god awful, Player wouldn't be as, like, we wouldn't be as dependent on Player. But like, I use KUI nameplates, and I just have it where I can easily see a cast of a mob, and then I look at like the names, and like, I think that covers 99% of my problems. If I was constantly playing a spec that was kicking all the time, hey, maybe I'd change around my frames so I'd have to color them or something like that. But I feel like I have all the functionality I have with a pretty simple nameplate add-on. And if they made, the default like KUI, I think that'd be fine. Yeah. Yeah, like if I didn't heal, probably default nameplates would be good enough. Because they got better in Dragonflight, but they're still way, way far off for all the customization that you would need for high-end healing. Like if you look at all the shit that I track, here, almost all of it has like an important purpose. For example, I track all the healing buffs for all my spells, and I set a priority list. And then I'll look at when players are targeted by certain spells. Then I'll have the priority debuffs, or coloring the frames in certain ways that I like for debuffs, But one important thing with debuffs is in the baseline frames, you can't blacklist Bloodlust, Dungeon Deserter, Demonic Gateway. You can't blacklist these things. And they have a cap to how many debuffs you can track. So you just can't see stuff if they have these effects on them, which is a nightmare, right? So, like, that's certainly a concern, That's certainly a pretty big concern. I like being able to see tanks' active mitigation. I like to be able to see, the buffs and the defenses that players have on them, because that actually drives decision-making, and drives it in a pretty big way. So, I mean, they'd really, really have to, like, prune down on defensives, maybe make, like, a visual built into the game when they have a DR up or something. I don't know. Never healed, never tanked. What's easier to push 3K on? Maybe a healer. Yeah. Maybe. But yeah, some scary stuff. I hope that they do, like, I don't know, a few rounds of iteration in PTR. And they say, like, hey, we might remove this functionality, or we might, like, let's say we're going to implement our version of raid frames, and, like, that's going to be it, guys. And then we get to, like, PTR test with it, and then we can see, like, hey, this isn't ready yet because of XYZ. That would be the ideal way to do it. If Blizzard was, like, on point, that's what they should do. Is they should be like, yo, come on PTR for a weekend, or the next 3 weekends for raid testing. Come test the new frames, and you get, I don't know, trading post tendies or something like that, and make it a little bit easier for everybody. That would be nice. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but I feel like, man, if I worked at Blizzard, I would just want to be on the PTR team. They have so much stuff that they can, like, test in advance that would make life easier for everybody. Oh, I already saw all this stuff. It's going to completely upend PvP. Well, isn't that a good thing, though? Because isn't PvP, like, dead? Doesn't PvP need to be upended? So, queue for whatever you can get into, Bubbles. If they implement this, I'll stop healing for sure. No point of healing if you can't see other CDs. Further thought, I will stop. And plus, like, what's the point if you can't coordinate kicks and CCs properly? Maybe they just make it so there's, like, way less kicks and crowd control. What about that? That'd be pretty sick. I just want to heal monsters and not PvP them. Hard to make decisions if you can't see your team's CDs. Well, they had all the PvP tournaments where they couldn't see each other's CDs or use add-ons, right? Right? Yo, Ren, thank you so much for the 2 months, dude. Howdy, howdy. Yeah. I have Omni CD. I never pay attention to it mid-fight, but I will call out a guildie for dying with the defensive still up. Yeah, that's what it's for. That would be great. They could they just have it pop up in hindsight. That would be good. Yeah. That would be good. Mid to high queued PvP with no audio? Well, the thing is, everybody would be on the same page then. Every single player would be on the exact same page. And so I don't think it'd be too bad if everybody has the same experience. Chaos trying to communicate in voice having or not having a CD before tracking it. Well, all the more reason why there should be less defensives overall. Because then once you only have one defensive to use, it'll be fine, you know? Dude, as a healer of Marvel Rivals, I feel that in my soul. I'll get my ult first, and then people will just rip theirs for no reason. It's like, ah. Yeah. Well, what they do in World First is they basically use their defensives at the same time every pull. So I don't think it'll really hurt that too much. I don't really think it'll hurt that too much. And like if they remove that like liquid reminders week or something like that, they could always just do like a voice call out of like everybody in this group is assigned to use their defensives at this time. So they'll call out like 1, and everyone in group 1 who has a defensive assigned hits their defensive, you know, whatever it is. There's ways that they can plan around it in a World First. And I don't think anything should be designed or worried about from a World Firster perspective at all. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll adapt. You know? They'll be fine. Yo, SG2 Land, thank you for the 38 months. Much love, dude. Yeah. Us player base or gamer dads have been playing forever on and off again. Yeah, that is a problem, like Speedy's saying. Like, they gotta be able to find a good way to welcome in new players. Yeah. I think that's kind of a critical problem, if I'm honest. I think it's actually a pretty critical issue. New players don't play outdated MMOs. They could, though. They could. And just completely giving up on bringing new players into the mix is a horrible idea. Respectfully. You can't just like give up on like trying to get new players into the game. You cannot be doing that. Just work on their patches not being completely buggy messes instead. What if they did both? What if they just constantly tried to improve themselves? Well, what if? What if? Let's just use our imagination. What would that be like? Possible, yeah. 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 And I'm plus miles with Holy Priest. I try to get like some haste. I'll probably rip a haste flask here and then go crit and verse. Something like that. Try on 20% haste, then crit and verse afterwards. Something like that. Yo, I did a noob. You play Kata Dragonflight Season 3 before it came back. You actually weren't able to play after a patch for 1 to 3 days. Your UI definitely got fucked, which didn't happen once since it planned again. I mean, they've made improvements, but there's been some issues. There's for sure been some issues lately. What up, Gas? not saying they're wrong to make the core UI and encounters better. I just don't know that any of it will pull in 11-year-olds playing Fortnite. I don't know, man. I started playing RuneScape when I was like 13. And I don't even know why I did. Maybe it was like my friend in school or something like that. I don't even remember. But if they know that people are not playing the video game because it feels like they have to download all these third-party add-ons to figure out how to play, that's kind of an interesting issue. That's kind of a thing. It's game bloat. Well, getting teams to play WoW is really rough for the sub cost. That is true. That is true. I know this. What up, Valu? I got a whole prio list for dinars in my guides. Check the gear page. Maybe they just need to like offer new accounts 30-day free subs or something like that. They buy the expansion or they get like 120 days and then they just have like the new player island show them how to farm up gold. That way they can pay for it themselves. You just set it up in a way so that they're forced and they're focused on farming up more gold for the population, you know? Yeah, gotta get some Holy Priest 17s. We'll also do some disc stuff if we can. Be surprised if WoW subs covered by Game Pass eventually. Yeah, it could be that too. It could be that as well. They won't cover like a new expansion, but they would cover like the sub cost or something. That'd be big. That'd be pretty big. Yeah. I mean, either way, they have to do something to further encourage like new players and stuff like that. Yeah. Full clear Mythic every week, you just don't see a drop? Yeah. When we do, I feel like everybody fights over it as well, man. Yeah. What's up with Blizzard allowing the one-button rotation? They used to be 100% against this, would ban people that try to come up with ways to do it. Basically, they made the game way too complicated. And it's still worse because like you lose out on globals by using that one-button tool. So it's always going to be worse for competitive players, but they want to make it so that there's like some kind of welcoming thing because the game has just gotten too much of a fucking mess. Like I was trying to make like new player guides the other day, and I'm just like overwhelmed by all the crud that I have to explain to people. Because it's like, here's one hero talent, and it has 4 different abilities and multiple different ways to utilize it. It's just, ugh. Ugh. 11-year-olds even want to play a game where the gen pop is in their 30s or older? I mean, I did with, like, RuneScape and when I started in WoW. Yeah, this is your first of 12 buffs you need to track, literally. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, Kale. Yeah, we kind of had a rant about it earlier. We'll see what Blizzard cooks up, you know? Like, I remember when I first started playing WoW, I would, like, lie about my age and this is before my voice like dropped and everything too. So I had to like purposely like make my voice deeper and all that other shit. And they were like, no squeakers or whatever it was, you know, no kids. Valuhel. There you go. Thank you so much for the new sub, dude. That made you feel older? Yeah. Your son 16 hates that it takes so long to gear up. Think the younger generation wants the rewards faster. That does make sense. It definitely does make sense. Yet another reason that Fellowship might be really good. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Yo, Genevieve's. Thank you so much for the new sub as well. Fellowship is basically WoW M+ as a standalone game. So it's not even in alpha yet, but we've done some play tests, and it looks really fun, and it's been really fun so far. Yeah. You're bored? Hi, bored. I'm Jack. Play Holy Priest Keys. You'll never be bored. Yeah, I don't actually like the name Fellowship. I feel like the name of the game is bad, but the game itself is good, so I think it's kind of a lame name. Could have been cooler. All I'm saying. Could have been cooler. Having a cast renew is holy. About on cooldown, since it has a 12-second CD. Thereabouts. So. Oh, you can always hit up my business email and stuff, Genevieve. Yeah. It's in the description. Bag add-on is Baginator. Yeah. Yeah. What up, Spider? Off topic question. Got a pally that doesn't know the whole damage for healing thing. Can you help me understand how them doing dam makes the key easier so I can explain it to him? He's playing Paladin? Oh, do you mean that he just like refuses to do damage? Yeah, it stands to the back and heals. Okay, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is like, you know, if you look at this rank overseer on the nameplates, you'll be able to see that it has a cooldown for incoming damage. And when it's going to do these big overpowering roars. Adding a little bit of damage as a healer, like I'm doing right here, is going to actively contribute towards there being less roars, less damage, less stuff for him to heal. Which makes the run go faster, makes him have to heal less. Get better rewards the faster you go. Yeah. Just makes everybody's life easier. Healing's always still the priority, but when there's nothing to do, you should be adding some damage. And when you play Paladin, there's also a lot of your damage that does create healing. Dropping Consecrate will heal allies with the Golden Path talent. Hitting Judgment on cooldown is going to put up an Absorb on enemies with the Greater Judgment talent. You know, stuff like that. So, Paladin has a lot of tools where their damage does either prevent damage or just do healing, which is also important. So it kind of just makes them more efficient healers in their own right. With a blessings rotation, basically just put Autumn on like a mage or DPS that could benefit from the cooldown reduction. And then everything else you can just put on yourself. Should be as simple as that. Oof. And I'm hitting bottle service. You don't really need much haste, Prinz, when you play Holy Priest. I have like 15% or so usually in a raid, and then it's go crit mastery after that. But there's not like any breakpoints. Holy Priest stats are, I kid you not, like razor close together in a raid, to the point where like you could be running just about anything and you'd be fine. But if you want to min max, get to a comfortable level of haste. Like I said, I like around 15 to 20%. And then, which also works out when I play disc. And then I just get lots of crit mastery after that. A lot of healing is not about like, once you get all these stats, you start doing like perfect healing or whatever it is. So much of it's gameplay based. So do what you can, but don't like stress too much over it. Don't stress out over it.
Empowered.
Just gonna rip Apotheosis. I mean, if you want to optimize, really just reading logs and like understanding your gameplay is much more productive than like finagling your stats to be like 1%, 2% different. Your gameplay matters way more than having like your perfect stat breakdown or anything along those lines. In M+, I'm running more verse. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to run a decent bit more verse in case I am, you know,
3 days before
getting hit
Twitch will let me
by stuff like that.
Though.
You know. I know, they're so weird, Bestio. Thank you for the 27 months. I'll see you in 3 days. Yeah, I take prayer healing in M+. I like it a lot. You gotta be careful not overcasting it, but I feel like it's very helpful. I feel like it's very, very helpful. Like a main Resto Shaman or Holy Pally? I'd say Holy Pally right now. They're both really fun, though. They're both very, very fun. It's kind of a tough decision. That was 3, so now I can actually just get my him cast off. And now your defensive's back. Let's get it. It feels right. Don't pull them before I can drink. There you go. First time healing in WoW, do I have a recommended add-on video, where to start type of video? Depending on the healer that you're playing. I have a bunch of healer guides and everything like that on my YouTube channel. There's always a search bar that you can look for. I also have a playlist on my YouTube channel, which is like new player guides, which ranges from like how to set up like your raid frames versus how to like sim your gear to optimize it. There's I think 5 or 6 videos or something like that in there. I'm planning on adding more. But a lot of it is like specific. If you play this healer or that healer or something like that, here's how to do that. Is it worth saying Mr. Pick Me Up heroic? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Pick Me Up is a great trinket. Great healing focus trinket. I'm swapping to versatility. Get a little verse flask on so I can live this.
Empowered.
How you doing, Adora? How the keys been? Just getting started. We were going over the Blizzard War on add-on type stuff earlier. And it might be a shit show for healers. We'll see. We don't know until we get into it, but it might be. We'll have to find out. Yep. Starlinks, thank you so much for the 19 months. Woo. Yeah, we'd love to see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Empowered.
So that hero raid trinket's better than mythic dungeon trinkets for Oracle? For most healers, yeah. They really wanted to get people to raid this season. Yeah. The player base was not happy. Was not having any of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't really need to do this mechanic. So we're not going to. he's coming back. I see. I think it's kind of crazy that they want to do all these things to like reward you for going and doing raid, but they also don't want to make raid better or like more accessible, basically. Like they'll make the raids easier until the cows come home, but they won't do like 10-man mythic. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. Yeah, some people have run Archon for keys, but I honestly just think that Oracle is a lot better. Yeah. Why does it take Blizzard so long to react to stuff and buff specs that are struggling like Shadow Priest? I think the problem is that they have like a class team of, I don't know, let's just make something up. Let's just say it's like a dozen people. But I very much believe that they don't only work on class design. Like they don't have 12 people working, you know, every single day on making class design as good as it can be. I feel like they have those people working on like other projects constantly. It like pulls their attention away. And I think that's phenomenally bad. I'm also just furious. I don't know. That's super weird. I can rest. I did not think I was that close. I really did not think I was that close.
Empower.
Very, very strange.
Empower.
Very, very strange. Come on, Boo, move boss. Need some better moves.
Empowered. Empowered.
Yeet. In the future, we gotta move more. Pull group to adjust candle spawns. All right, we got it. That wasn't too bad, but like it could have been better. It could have been better. That was a little spooky unnecessarily, basically. A little needlessly spooky. So how long did that boss fight go? Exactly 3 minutes. Okay. It's good to know. Whew. Yeah, I run prayer healing. Like, on that boss, I had to be a little bit, like, sparing with it, because obviously it's a big rot fight. I think I finished with, like, 30% mana, though. But, like, on rot fights, yeah, you gotta be, like, more conservative about how often you hit it, and only hitting it during your prayer circle buff, which is after you hit Sanctify. That one right there. But, like, in every other situation where you can just get a little sip here and there, get a little sip here and there, it's super helpful. It's, like, crazy helpful, you know? But, like, obviously on rod fights, you gotta be a little more conservative with it. No surprise there, right? Oh, this is bad. There you go. Oh, nice. Somebody else got it. Good.
I simply wish you had lasted a little longer.
Thank you. Nope. No kicks.
Empowered.
Come on.
Empowered.
Come on. What's happening? All right, it's Boogie. That was a little tedious, but that's okay. I got meleeed into the drain light. Oh well. Yeah, one of the big things I would say, Kel, before you go into like a Candle King run, basically, I just tell people, like, after the first round of candles, hit your defensives and use them on cooldown. Just keep on using them on cooldown, no matter what. I try to have them, like, let's say AMZ on the very, very first one. Nobody hit a defensive. The second round, then everybody hits a defensive. Something like that. You know? And then you constantly are cycling between... Like, everybody just knows, hey, okay, the wax figurines come out, I'm just gonna hit a defensive. Because it's all rot damage anyway, you know? And if they can chain it so that it happens also when the wax, like, falls on them, great. But, like, they don't want to hold it that long. Like, I think it's like 12 seconds or something like that between the candles coming out. And the wax, maybe it's 15 seconds. But maybe they wait like 5 seconds, then they hit their defensive. And that way, if they get targeted by the wax, like drops or whatever it is, they'll have a defensive. If not, they're still mitigating all the tick damage. You know? Yeah, I mean, I know some people have killed it with Archon and everything. I just don't think it's as helpful, really, for what the dungeon throws at you. You just have to be super conservative with your prayer of healing uses, of course. But I feel like Piety actually does provide, like, a reasonable healing cooldown. Whereas, like, Halo is just, I don't know, kind of mediocre, you know? It's kind of just like an average cooldown that doesn't really do a lot on its own.
Empowered.
The nice thing when you play as Oracle, you can like hit Clairvoyance and quickly mash out a bunch of Prayer of Mendings and then dump your Holy Words. And like that's a really powerful amount of healing that you're getting just from that alone, you know?
Empowered.
And of course, like the more greedy that you can be, the better. You can just have like Halo and a couple Holy Words or something like that. Or yeah, just have Bottle Service on its own for one of them. That makes it so much easier. You know, and you use Apotheosis. Apotheosis should basically just be used as its own standalone cooldown. You know, and that's how you have to, like, distribute the cooldowns and be kind of greedy with them, basically. That's a huge, huge part of it. Huge, huge part of it. I just dream. I just stepped out of the group so nobody panics. Even though I didn't exactly need to. Wait a little sec. Replenish. Hopefully he goes and gets that. Yes, he does. Pops a defensive too. We love it. There's your baby shield. Good luck. Alright, he's got defensive. Nice. Giving you all I can.
Empowered.
I do love me some still woozy. Recommendations what to do in Vegas? There's this Ferris wheel that you gotta go on. And okay, that was a little scary. There's this Ferris wheel that you go on, and they basically you can get like the bottle service that goes with it. And they make as many drinks as you can drink in half an hour. And I think it was only like $20 or $30, something like that. It wasn't that expensive. It's pretty sick. Highly recommend. It was a very fun experience. But yeah, do that. We did like a little bit of gambling, but I burned through $150, I think, in less than an hour with blackjack. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. So the gambo was like, okay. But the dealer was like not having a great time and all impatient, and that's like the worst vibes, you know? Easy. Texas Hold'em can be cheapish. Yeah, you know, the usual, just like set aside some money for it, do your thing, you know? But honestly, when I was in Vegas, it got like very overwhelming, like stimulation wise. There were a couple moments where like my friend group, we all just were like, we're gonna go to our hotel rooms for like an hour or two and just chill for a sec. So I think I watched, I was like watching Narcos in bed for like an hour or two before we like went out again. But yeah, like a lot of the restaurants are like cool and but it's all like very, very pricey, basically. So I think the biggest thing is like set a plan, especially like the shows. All the shows and like entertainment events are always like really, really cool. Oh yeah, Meow Wolf was like pretty cool. It didn't like blow me away, but it was pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do a workshop or we want to do some more Holy Keys. It's all very close right now, Bubbles. Yeah. Yeah, like it always kind of varies tier by tier. Yeah. But like this season, just play what you enjoy. Play what you enjoy and you'll be just fine. What are you doing the mother load? Little mother load action. Yeah, Wolf in Denver feels like it's targeted towards teenagers and college kids. Yeah, there was some like cool stuff to it, but the way people talked about it was like, oh my god, you know? All right. I have a sell question. Ah, my favorite. What's up, man? What do you got? What do you got for me? 25 next season? Maybe. There's always kind of a coin flip. Steal my desk and treadmill setup so you can stop slowly dying from desk job. Too much wow? Do it, Amish. Just walk slow. Like, just walk, I kid you not, slower than you think you need to. Literally, just do like 1 mile an hour and you'll be fucking chilling. People think they gotta like fucking be huffing and puffing and everything like that. But dude, you walk 1 mile an hour, and you walk for 3 hours or something, boom, 3 miles. Easy. Just take it nice and slow. I gotta tell you, I don't like just standing at my desk at all. I don't think it's comfortable, even with like the standing pad. So I don't do that ever. It's either walking or sitting down. Yeah.
5, 4.
Can I make party frames bigger? It's in like layouts, right? It's in layouts.
Empowered. Empowered.
Full bottle service. Nice. All the dinar suggestions are in the Wowhead guides. XP point guides has got it for you. It's kind of just like a prio list based on what you are most going for. Standing desk at home I rarely use, but when I have to go into the office for work, use mine there all the time. Maybe you're in like work mode, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Oh, we are fighting. So I got Lightwell up, and now I'm going to rip Divine to him, and that's going to help us on this Peacekeeper, which is almost dead, actually. It's kind of crazy. Kind of owning him. I'm also just going to hit Clairvoyance for fun. I think there's a decent chance that we would need the healing. Yeah, it was okay. Not too necessary, but I would rather just pop it, because I don't really need it on this boss fight. Yeah. My interface is in the description on YouTube, or !point UI and Twitch chat. Gonna pop bottle service. Holy's in like pretty good shape. Disc is obviously better, but since I have, you know, the very geared character, I think Holy Priest is just a lot of fun to play right now. And I think it's a lot more doable to do high keys. So as a result, I'm like, hey, why don't I go do this? You know? That's really the whole, like, impetus. Yeah, in the description, Dweed. In the description, man. There's a list of all my add-ons and everything. And the UI pack and everything with Wago, so you can import it in-game. But yeah, there's been plenty of times where, like, Holy would be okay in certain seasons, but, like, not that fun to play at times. So now it's at, like, a fun and good position. And so if I don't have, like, a squad on to do bigger keys or something like that, I'm like, fuck it, let me just go do some Holy keys. Plus, the added benefit with this resilient system is I have all resilient 18s from doing them as disc, but I can go make my own key and run my own groups and start progressing 18s as Holy Priest. And then I can just make my own groups and I instantly have an 18 key that I can run, and if somebody makes a mistake, we can just try again. You know, or if I make a mistake, we can just try again. So I'd like to do that a decent bit more too. Yeah, NA's been much better than it has been in the past, Koru, for actually pugging keys. Compared to what it was in like Shadowlands and stuff, like nobody would pug keys like these. Yeah, a lot has changed. Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna die for this. Huh! Oh my god, we're fucking gaming, baby! Yeah, yep. Oh my goodness. Fighting for my life out in these streets. Getting in there. If Brazil keys were warbound, you'd see people with like 620 eye level. They're like, do my 17. Oh man. I do miss being a Drac there, man. That movement is sick. That movement is so sick. Damn, I was changing songs and I dropped my Lightweaver stacks.
Empower.
fear. Yo, what, Bradley? Yeah, we were talking about the add-on stuff earlier. Yeah. Yo, Crusader, thank you so much for the new sub. Welcome in, welcome in. Gives me motivation to stick to one class. My monk is 6 of 8 mythic, so I'm not only playing one thing. And I'll like do weeklies on the other characters, but priest has always just had a spec, at least one of the healer specs that's been fun. But now we're kind of in a position where I think both of them are really fun to play. So that's given me like extra motivation, basically. Which is really, really nice. So... unfortunately, there's no sprint function, Orty. Fast as it goes is like 4 miles an hour. Unfortunate, man. Otherwise, I'd gladly take your money. Yeah, Holy Valley does feel good, too. I just don't quite have the heart to farm the, like, 1,000 crests or so that I would need to actually start doing, like, 17s and 18s on him. Will be fun, though. Will be fun, though. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind.
Empower.
Damn. This is much too many Lancers. I have... if you hit Exchange Point coaching, I took down the like one-on-one coaching for now. Taking a little hiatus from it. But I have like a log review channel and stuff like that, like a little coaching text channel. And so what I have there is basically people can like drop their logs, drop their VODs, ask, you know, more in-depth questions and everything like that. And I always do log reviews in that channel. But yeah, probably not going to do any one-on-ones for kind of a while. It's just tough setting up like schedules and everything like that with people. I've had to like reschedule streams and other things, and I just need a break, so I can figure a better like sustainable method, I don't know, for doing it. But yeah, I think the like coaching channel I think works well, but people I know want to like have like the one-on-one FaceTime and stuff, and I get it. So I know it won't be for like everybody. But yeah. It's all I'm like available to do, I guess. Damn. These bolts, man. I wish he would have rezzed, because this is a pull you don't want to take forever on. Yeah, and Sugar Daddy almost died as a result. Oh my fucking god, and I almost died. He's dead. Oh my god, live! Fuck! I cannot wait until these Earthshapers are dead. Well, that's the problem, Koro. You know, just if I decide to go late with a stream one day or something like that, then it cuts into coaching time.
Empowered.
Come on. There you go. Renew used to suck as a as an ability, so I was like, it'll be fun to have a channel port reward that does nothing. You know? Nothing too insane. Renew doesn't do much on its own, but it marks targets. Or basically when the target has the buff on them, I should say, they take a lot more healing. They take 10% more healing. So it's not like directly good, but it makes your other stuff better, which is nice. And that's the thing, is like for Holy Priest it's actually good. For Disc, you know, yeah, you're only using it for like niche situations in dungeons, or you're using it in raids for your ramps. What made Blizzard hate HOTS? Well, it's basically that they accelerated the game. Like, the game is so much faster than it used to be. That just made HOTS a lot worse. Nice, easy focus boss here. Nice. That was a really good push. But like it used to be, back in Grandpa's day, it used to be that like healing was a lot slower. It would take a lot longer to like top off health bars and stuff. And basically they just got really, really far away from it because they power creep the crazy living bejesus out of the game. And now everything is like super cooldown based, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's all because of the Dragonfly talent trees. Oh yeah. Blizzard dug themselves a pretty big hole with the Dragonfly talent trees. There's a lot of good in them, but it's also not so good when healing becomes just like rock, paper, scissors type stuff of like, do you have a cooldown here or no? I am polyed forever. Really bad. And I'm dead. Very dead.
Your
Yep.
survival wasn't necessary.
Ah, yeah, I hate to see it. Alright, free res comes in clutch. Do not release, do not release, do not release.
Empowered.
I'm just hitting battle service. I think add-ons are fine. They just need to stop making weak aura bosses. Ruins the entire fight. I agree. I agree. I think, I don't think that they need to, like, remove or mess with, like, raid frame tuning or any of that other kind of stuff. Nameplate adjustments. Like, they don't need to remove anything. They just need to, like, make what exists at Blizzard HQ, like, way better. And we'll see. Like I said, I feel like this is kind of like their opening argument. Maybe that's copium, but this kind of seems like they're, hey, we're gonna figure this out, you know. But like, yeah, if they remove Cell, I'd be super unhappy. They would have to make some like very good in-game tools, and you know, we don't really have a lot of faith in that actually happening. They could say that they would do it for sure, but you know, it's a very different thing than actually getting the job done, as I'm sure we all know at this point. Oh, there's two streams, Dylan. Yeah, just click through to the regular YouTube channel, and then there'll be two options for a stream. One TikTok version, one normal version. Yeah. The option of cell to show the damage taken? I don't know what that is. It is showing as a white checker color on the health bar. That's an absorb right there. That's the DK's blood shield. But since he's taken all magic damage, it's not consuming his absorb. Yeah. I think it's like aura icon settings, Chia, to have like the bump when they get reapplied or something like that. I want to say it's in like the layouts. It's in like a side tab. It's not in the indicator page. But I think it's like aura icons or something like that. Yeah, there's like a shield bar section, Carl. Again, I don't think it's in the layouts. Or I don't think it's in the indicators. It's in like one of the other pages. Eh. Item McG. The Well in Priory gives like a very small damage buff. It's worth clicking if you're a priest or pally or somebody that can do it. Yeah. You would want to do it.
Empowered.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm just walking over this guy. In Boomy we trust. Not sure, a noob. We'll see where the day takes us. Kind of think we need an absurd amount of mines. Oh, we're doing that.
Empowered.
Ooh. Oh, so much time for 7 deaths. So Tell's video going over the interview, really funny how they keep saying they want to have less interrupts, and they give us BS mobs we have to stun constantly to survive. Yeah, I think the big problem is that the player base just doesn't trust Blizzard. And they haven't really delivered more ways for us to, like, build the trust. And I think, like, the Dinar situation didn't help, regardless of how you feel about the execution right now. Regardless of how you feel about it, everyone got their expectations up because they were unclear about what they were going to do with it, and then people got the impression that they were rug pulled, you know? And that's not good when you're trying to build trust with a company, especially in the post-Shadowlands world, right? And I think this add-on issue is just furthering it, you know? It's just kind of furthering it. Ow. A little bit of milk, a little bit of milk.
Empowered.
Just gonna rip him here. What's happening? Oh, he vanished. Oh, that was actually pretty smart. That was pretty smart. Oh, wait, it didn't work. Chat. Oh, come on. It did not work. He was close. He was close. We rip Clairvoyance and a million Holy Fires, and then I can hit Apotheosis after I get this Chastise back. Someone's taking some big damage here. Oh, nice.
Empower.
Don't think I'm gonna get another Arcane Surge moment. Worth. Maybe I should have just jumped into the beam there. Might have been a little bit safer. A lot of times Blizzard and the community are speaking the same words with different definitions. Now that I very much agree with. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. You don't need to go into versatility, Benek. The only reason I'm going into versatility... The only reason I'm going into versatility is because I want to optimize my Holy Priest setup. But when I'm doing high keys, I run with more verse, even though it's not optimal. Because I don't think I'm like losing that much. I lose a little bit of crit mastery, but my healing still feels very, very good. But if you're only playing disc, I would say your stats are totally fine. Nah, disc is better than Holy and high keys. But I have all 18s as disc. And I want to see how far I can push with Holy Priest. And I just think Holy Priest is fun, so yeah. But I will sign up for that group. I will sign up for that group. As disc. But I think it's just something fun to do. I think it's just something fun to do on the side. It's a nice, like, side project. I think it's a fun little side project to do. All the talents I'm running are in my Wowhead guides. Yeah. Should all be the same stuff. Wait, that's my raid talents. I know, right, Beast? How you doing, man? All right, let's see. We already have the Motherlode. For Holy, I need 17s on Cinderbrew, Rookery, and Floodgate. Not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely recommend watching the Ellesmere video. that I did a while back, a noob, because it does kind of go step by step on like how to play and stuff. Yeah. Yep. And they delisted. Back to Holy. Either of these will be good. Just give it a shot, a noob. Just give it a shot, man. I am working on having more like beginner focused guides and everything like that. Always, 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 but yeah, just trust. Trying to always make stuff as accessible as possible to new players. It's always the goal. Well, I don't know if you saw Beast. In the article, they talked about like the potential. They talked about the potential of like having import strings for the one button rotation or the rotation helper where like players could customize it. Yeah. The reason he's using Desperate Prayer is that there's like slight healing effects that you get out of it. And he's basically just trying to pad and trigger an extra heal during his ramp to trigger some additional piety over heal. I would not recommend it for actual progression content at all. Yeah. Unless you're in like Muggsy, it's really good to do that there. Because that's when all the damage is, and that's when the stuff can actually kill you. But on a lot of other fights, like Sprocketmonger, I'm usually using my defenses at a different time. All the conditionals to make it work? Oh, yeah. That would be the new UI sale, though, Koro. Can you imagine? That's awesome. Congrats, Quentrix. You have a Shaman heal 668. I tried this morning to heal a 14, but I had issues with your mana. Any idea we can do better? Don't hard cast chain heals. Let your totems do the chain healing for you. Make sure you're covering your group in Riptides, maintaining it. Keep your surging totem down. All that fun stuff. They're both good, Amish. Neither of them is better. I prefer click casting, but you're gonna see like best players in the world do both. Yeah, you'll see them do both. I am keeping this versatility flask on. Best in tank in your guild clicks all his spells with the trackpad. It truly comes down to personal preference. Except for that one, you know. Except for that one. Oh, man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Empower.
He's like 3200 IO. It's working. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Fuck.
Empowered.
He said, could you do triple muscle? Come on now. Come on now. You're 5k IO and you play with your feet. If that were true, Scooby, you would be the biggest streamer on Twitch for a few different reasons. Exclamation point sniffer. Dude, maybe I should do that. I used to be able to open a banana with my feet. If I, like, trained the skill, you know? Yeah. You know, whoever is the first one to actually get that skill together. I mean, see, people would pay to see it. Exactly. Talent development. Talent development.
Empowered.
Regular pedicures. How did that come about? I think like my friends dared me to or something. I don't know. You can't tell me that your friends didn't dare you to do stupid shit growing up. Was that deep in my Shadowlands days? No, that was when I was like 12 or something. I grew up in the suburbs, guys, when the video games weren't flowing or something like that, or parents kicked me out of the house. I had to find something to do to keep you busy. Yeah, just guys being dudes. Could spice up my cooking streams. That's what the cooking streams need. More feet. Yeah. Time to cast 20 holy fires. Was you subbing to that sort of streamer? True, you should have tier 2 subbed if you knew. It's okay. You're getting a steal with your Twitch Prime sub. And so could chat right now. Oh my god, use your Twitch Prime subs, chat. I'm watching. Thanks.
Trying so hard.
Holy shit. It worked. I'm just gonna start telling you guys to do stuff from now on. Dad Milk, they are the 5 months. Shout out to Dad Milk. That sounds like a good time for Symbol. It's like a pretty good time for it.
Empowered.
I'm kind of over this song. Yeah, I'll probably work on a video after stream today about the add-on stuff. Probably do a little quick rant about it. It was fun seeing that 12s ran quadrupled last week. Yeah, no surprise. I'm telling you, man, WoW players yearn for the grind. But when Blizzard does like unnecessary time gating and stuff, or they keep things out of their reach, WoW players rage, you know? Max is out of a job if all the add-on stuff goes live. On the contrary, I feel like that makes his job more valuable. Tell you the truth. Invest in max stonks now. It's gonna be even more important to have an outside raid leader when less things are automated. Can I just outrange this? Hopefully. Easy.
Empowered.
All right, running in.
Empowered.
Ripping our bottle service as fast as we can. Ripping clairvoyance. And bursting lots of heals. Problem is, Blizzard is terrible at making good things good fast. I don't want to play in the Dark Ages for years waiting on them. Yeah, there's absolutely gonna be like growing pains. I agree. There's absolutely gonna be some serious growing pains. I think I actually pick up the cannon. I think this is a good cannon angle. Because what's going to happen is we're going to like come back later to this section.
Your survival.
Yeah, classic. I should have popped defensives there. I thought I was out of range. Not quite, though. It's cool. I will res here. And we're so back. Premonitions is Holy and Raid. My guides have like a big write-up on it, but usually it's like Prayer of Mending with Insight, Solace with anytime you want some DR, Piety with like major cooldowns like Apotheosis or Hymn, stuff like that. Usually stuff like that.
Empowered.
So since everyone's popping cooldowns right here, I'm just gonna bottle service, heal through. Let them kill off everything. And then the next round of brews should hopefully come up in 15 seconds. So it's going to be like, I don't know, a little tight, but not that bad. But basically when the next round of brews come up, that's when we don't have damage. And I'm just watching my timer. And I hit the button. Sorry.
I simply wish you had lasted a little longer.
That was just tragic. Couldn't drop the, If I had Shadow Meld or something still on cooldown from earlier, that would have helped a bunch. Oh well. Maybe I live that if I pre-Desperate Prayer. Yeah. I mean, we're just fighting. We're just fighting. Like, I don't know.
Your survival wasn't necessary.
Empower.
Alright. No more tilt. He still had like damage on those guys basically, and then it kept pulling. He didn't drop combat. I think he also broke the CC target out. So that didn't help either. That didn't help either. Any more legendaries in the future? Oh yeah. I'm sure that they will at some point, but I don't know. Maybe they'll make like legendaries a really big part of like next expansion or something. They love doing that kind of stuff. I feel like they added the like Amir Drasil legendary and like the Og Evoker legendary as like, I don't know, just fill in. It didn't actually feel like legendary items. So, I mean, I'd only really want them to add something if they have like a really, really cool idea. Nice. You ripping the res. Penguin! Thank you for the new sub, dude. Welcome in, welcome in. A little worried about time, but we'll see how this goes. Alright, pre-himmin, get everybody topped, get the healing amp on everybody.
Empowered.
Website for coding that used to sponsor you for videos, they still do. It's boot.dev. Yeah, they own. Use code JAK at checkout. Oh yeah, Grin, thank you for the, what is that, 22 months? Let's go. Thank you, dude. Yo, what up, Tremor? Holy movement, Batman. Yeah, most of the season I've been pugging. Haven't had too much of a set group.
Empowered.
We're gonna die. Oh. Yeah, we go ba-boom.
The strongest survive.
Yep, on a treadmill. Yeah. Oh well. NT. It happens. Is it better to let tank do the barrels? Oh, popping the barrels on like the B boss? No, you should do it as a healer when you can. Just watch the flutter wing timer. You just gotta watch the flutter wing timer. Damn, they got a Presto Shaman. Oh, I guess they needed Lust, didn't they? Yeah. Alright, let me run to the bathroom real quick, then we'll see what dungeon we're going into next. Be right back. Let's see what we got. What up, Barsh? Do I need a Rookery? Rookery, Cinderbrew, Floodgate are on my list. Kind of tempting to go back into it. Nah, let's just do Rookery. Let's try to do Rookery. Nah, sorry, Parsh. We still have the ability to have weak cores in the middle of our screen. I'm sure that they're debating that right now. So, hit your first 3K using your guides. Wanted to say thanks. You bet, Dental. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. Glad they were helpful. Floodgate might be pretty good. Might be pretty good. Damascus, that you already did it on our druid. Love it. Just play priest, man. You'll have such an easier time. Jack, you're such an interactive stream. I appreciate you. Hopefully you never get the viewership you deserve. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hope you get exactly what you deserve as well, Gamble. I think the idea is that they want to have, like, the add-on revamp also go hand in hand with making the video game more accessible for new players. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me to defend a case. I'm just telling you what they're saying. Just doesn't seem possible that they don't fuck it up. That's probably the best argument. Yeah. That's just the best argument. Yeah. The growing pains, the possibility of things get more messy is just very, very high. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Someone theorized Microsoft wants to put WoW in Xbox. That's what the rotation helper and the change are all aimed at. People have been saying that for like years, though. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I feel like people were talking about that like going into Shadowlands, so I don't know. I keep hearing it, keep hearing it, keep hearing it. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think Resonant Words is really good. 40% buff on either your heal or your power or your prayer of healing. Yeah, they're very nice. Yeah, they said it's gonna be a while, but for a company that, you know, got the catchphrase soon TM, we'll see. That's kind of the problem is like I could, if I wanted to, I could really amp up the fear, you know, the fear factor for a video. But like we just don't exactly know what's gonna happen, you know? Yeah. How crucial is damage as a Resto Druid healer for M+? You should always be trying to add damage if there's nothing else going on. Even if you just toss out a Sunfire if you have a free global, you know? But it's not like it's going to make or break the key. So, keep people alive, add some damage when you're free, you'll be fine. Don't just stand around and do nothing. Are we ready? Yeah, BlazeCon Wax Pick Me Up is a really good combo. Especially if you don't have the raid options. Alright, let's get it. Let's get it. Right and then left. Little skip, then press W. Parasol skip. And I got my parasols.
4, 3, 2.
Gotta get some more pots, actually. Why are you going away? Alright, I give up. Game's not letting me buy pots.
Empower.
Tragic.
Empower.
Goddamn you, Blizz. No, goddamn you, add-ons, man. It's the add-ons. Breaking Blizzard's game. Less worried about having less add-ons, but worried that Blizzard's encounter designers' mentality doesn't change in the process. They can't take stuff like that away from us without toning down some of the fights to compensate. That is true. Oh, later, guys. Nah. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the issue as well with, like, private auras, and not really much changing there. It's so strange, because, like, Ian will say stuff that seems to be, like, counter to what the devs are actually doing. They'll be like, we need less time gating, and then, like, 11.1.7 just has, like, a heap of time gating. Or, sorry, the Turbo Boost patch, you know? It's just so strange. I don't understand it. Basically, PR say the good thing and people ignore what's really happening. I guess, yeah. But again, it kind of circles back to what I was talking about before. It's just like I feel like the trust in Blizz has been eroded for a while, and then they're not really doing enough to make it better. Very strange.
Only the strongest survive.
Hey, how you doing, Austin? Doing well, doing well. We are knocking out 17s on Holy Priest, trying to get all 17s done.
Empower.
Making lots of progress. Holy fire. Holy fire. Little fear. Little chastise. Cast it to somebody else, please. There we go. Play smoothly at higher keys. You panic at 10s. What's the difference? I'm walking. Clearly. Gotta get on the walking train. It might be an add-on issue, Rafi. You might have like an add-on that stopped getting updated or something. And that might be causing some stuttering for you. It's a very real possibility. Yeah. Yeah, just try to run your own key when you can, Corella. Especially if you're running it like early in the week. Usually you'll have a pretty good amount of like solid players to sort of draw from. And even if like you deplete a key, if you have like 1 or 2 players who are just really good in the group, I would also just say like add them to your friends list. Because M+ is like, part of it obviously is how you play in the dungeon, but it's also really big on like networking for your long-term performance. Like every time people are like, oh, well, you like need to have people to play with, and these people just have people, and I just don't have people. It's like, well, everybody started at that point eventually, you know? Whether it's joining guilds or just friending the best player in the group at the time, the more you're building up your network, the easier it is to do higher keys in the future. I know, being social in an MMO, I'm sorry. It's like that that like scroll of truth the guy finds on the boat.
Empower.
And it's like you have to find people to play with and build community with people if you want to do higher end content in the game. And they're like, yeah. They also don't have girlfriends? Well, I mean, I think that's just generally good advice if you want to get higher IO, is like, getting in a relationship will just make it harder, you know? We got a few guildies who are married and everything like that, and all of them have like terrible IO. And that's it's there for a reason. Yeah, Shia just got one. What's your IO? What's your IO, bud? Yeah, or boyfriends. True, true. You know, for guys or gals. Doesn't matter. You just gotta think about your priorities in life, okay? You just gotta think about what's actually important. See, married 34 years, your IO is 2100. See? Exactly. Guy chose a happy marriage over 3K. You know, it happens. He made his bed, now he has to lie in it. That could be a bit like moving to a new city where you don't know anyone. Got to start networking to build up a social group. Yeah, exactly. But also, it's kind of like you join a sports team or like a sports club. Like if you joined a beer league for baseball in a new city, if you suck at baseball, it might be a little harder to make friends. Might be, depending on how serious they take it. But if you're fucking good, then it's a lot easier to make friends, you know? My brother, big frat bro, kinda. Very good at baseball. Makes tons of friends in his beer leagues. Has a great time. Isn't IO the most important thing in the world? Well, you know. It should be, but not everybody views life that way. Irony in being sarcastic about having to be in social in an MMO and then turning around and alienating people for not being good in the game. Do we see part of the issue here? Well, it's good to gatekeep them if they're bad. But how many YouTube views does he get? That's a good question. I'll bring that up the next time I see family. Like, actually, no, he might. My brother might write a book. He's working on his doctorate right now. He might write like multiple books. He's smart. You know, I'm like WoW smart. He's like book smart. So we both make our parents proud, you know, in our own way. Yeah.
Empowered.
Oh, it's rude to be bad at WoW is very true. Big source of anxiety for players. It can be, yeah. And I think what's really frustrating about it is, like, there's certain levels of gameplay where, like, you know, you should really... I think a big problem is, like, people expect everybody to play at the same level as they are, or have, like, the same expectations for themselves, and people don't. And, like, most of the time where I've been in guilds where there's been, like, a lot of conflict, it's usually because there's just different goals for people, you know? Like, I've been in guilds where they kept around, like, friends who weren't really about, like, pushing hard anymore, or trying to be the best anymore, or anything like that. And then they just kind of stayed in the guild, stayed on the raid roster, even though they put in less work. And that caused a lot of problems with the entire guild, because some people did want to push hard, or the stated goal of the guild was to, you know, push hard and min-max and everything. And some people got a free pass to not do that, you know? And I think one big problem with the WoW community is definitely communicating that. What are our goals? What's our objective? What's the standard that we want to hold ourselves to? Or is there not standards, you know? And it's like, you could lose a game of baseball and you could still have fun. But if you wipe on a boss all night, it's tough to have fun doing that. Maybe you could, you know. Sometimes you get some people in there who are just great for the vibes. We had a guy, apply to our guild the other day who I know, who was great for the vibes. I even said that in his application like page. I was like, hey, I played with this guy before. He's awesome. You know? You cannot be leaping on me here. And then he got denied because he's trash. I hope that they accept him. I don't know. He like just applied. This like just happened, chat. You know, my officers are old people. They take time.
Empowered.
They take time. I gave my vouch. Got stuck re-clearing Rick Reverb for a full raid night. Got it down the last pull. It was almost worth it for that feeling of relief afterwards. It's always worth it, okay? It's always worth it. Yeah, it is pretty funny, because I even have the experience where, like, Some raid tiers we finish and I feel relief. Some of them I feel super excited. Sometimes there's been a couple times where I feel nothing. I feel nothing. My black heart is just devoid of feeling and reason. It just, you know, it just varies. Rough when you're wiping and pushing content. It's the same people who are underperforming, messing up. Yeah, exactly. And I think that just, even though they might be like, you know, nice people or good for the vibes or whatever, if they're not meeting the standard, it's just tough, you know? It's like, one of the most fun things in WoW is taking down difficult content, but it's much less enjoyable sitting there wiping forever on that content. And the margins are kind of weird in WoW. Like, sometimes there's content that's just, like, way too easy and you don't feel a challenge and then people aren't enthused. Or it's too much of a challenge, you know? And then people are not having fun because you're just wiping. So, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Empowered.
Do people get away with telling friends and family they can't make it because they got a raid? I'm jealous. Hey, man. You gotta set priorities. You gotta set boundaries to your family, okay? Boundaries are important in life.
Empowered.
I like prayer of healing. I like it a lot. You just gotta be careful not to overcast because it can you. You know, like in this fight, you might want to use prayer of healing at these moments, but you really don't need to at all. It'll just drain your mana. So it's much better to use like heal. The thing is, like, I've seen builds that are not running with like prayer of healing and stuff like that, and I feel like it just kind of limits your options because a lot of those builds, they'll run talents instead of prayer of healing that are really not that good. You know, they run things like everlasting light with like the heal amp at lower mana, and that does so little healing. It's crazy. You know, I would much rather have prayer of healing where I'm situationally using it. You know. Yeah, you just gotta find the right time to use prayer of healing. You just gotta find the right time to use it when you have the mana for it. And yeah, it's like Chicken said, I mean, functionally it's no different than like you having a sports league or something like that with friends. It's just that it's online, you know? And a lot of people that like don't play video games have this sort of like internal bias of like, oh, if it's not in person, it's not real. It's like, you know, there's not really any point in arguing with people over it. Yeah. Depends on if you're focusing on raids or M+ proto. Exclamation point guides. I've got a breakdown for a little prio list for both my holy and dispriest guides on Wowhead. So yeah, I write the guides for holy and for disc for Wowhead, and we have all those lists there. We got the corruptions there. We got all kinds of stuff.
Empowered.
Oh, blind product progress is really, really fun in Final Fantasy. We did that one season at the beginning of Endwalker. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. That was also frustrating, though, because even in a group of 8 players, we had some players that were not very motivated to learn, and that made it very aggravating. That made it very aggravating. So it happens even then. But if you get a full 8 players or a full team that's all on the same page, yeah, that shit's the best. That shit owns. So. You don't really need any like survivability trinkets unless you're doing like world level keys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What's that, Dylan? Didn't know which I originally played or liked more. I started playing Priest as Disc in Mist of Pandaria. And then I switched to playing mostly Holy in Warlords. And since then, I've basically just played whatever is like best for the team. So, I don't know. It like varies, you know, expansion or season by season of which one I enjoy more. Just sort of depends on where they're at, you know? But I like them both a lot right now. And that's why I've been playing them both a lot. So it really kind of just depends. Like, specs are... This isn't breaking news, but specs are a lot more fun to play. You know, when they do good healing or get damage or whatever it is, right? They're always a lot more fun to play when they're good. And I think both specs are in quite a good position now, which is nice. Yeah.
Empower.
Yeah, you can replace with the crafted ring. Yeah, with the Sears, you could basically replace it with a mythic track ring or a crafted ring and be chilling. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Yep, Heroic Jaster's fine too.
Three, two, one.
Oh shit, Brandon. Hey, dude, thank you for the super sticker. I don't know why I didn't trigger an alert there. I'm sorry, dude. Thank you, that's awesome of you. You guys are getting Jaster drops? Well, you could buy it with the token. Yeah. You could definitely buy it with the token. Yeah. Absolutely, Brandon. Let me tell you, we got more to come. Especially because we should be having content soon. They should be talking about 11.2 PTR soon. Very, very hyped for that. Here, I can go get this. Okay, we gaming? We gaming.
Empower.
Yeah, 11.17's on BTR already. That's how people are trying the one button rotation thing. Yeah. Does chat work when you have multiple things up? I just have a program which merges it all into one channel so I can just read everything. So like your message is right in between two Twitch chat messages, and I can just read all of it as it pops up. One button rotation so you can eat your nuggies during prog raids. Yeah. Can't say Blizzard doesn't give you guys what you need, what you want, what you really, really want. Oh, I see it. Yep. If we lose cell, is Blizzard going to fix our keybind issues? They do have built-in click casting in the game. And it mostly works. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just saw it at the top. Chat was moving a little quick. Yeah. Yeah, so Blizzard, if you just search click casting in the interface, there is a menu for it, and it works out pretty well. There's a couple abilities like trinkets, macro type stuff, which was a little hit or miss, or you had to like do certain things to play around with it. But most of the rest of it worked fine. I think I did something at the end of like last expansion, fiddling around with it all. So there is also a section in that click cast bar for mouse over healing, yeah. So you could also be doing that.
Empower.
You could also be doing that. An add-on allows Jack to play priest for you. Oh man. Piloting was legalized by Blizzard. We would have endless stream content. Endless. It's a tier 4 sub. Yeah. For real. Yeah, trust me, I'll if we ever get to a point where they're like removing certain features for healers or whatever, I will absolutely have like a video of like workarounds and things like that, you know? Never fear. We'll have resources available. Yeah, I'll make it nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh, I said we're done. One button rotation, 500k DPS on Holy DK. My raid's gonna double his output. Yeah, probably. Probably. Well, it's not unheard of, Arced. I wouldn't be surprised if their primary reason for not being able to track other people's cooldowns is because of PvP. But I would not. Ow. Fuck. Stubbed my toe really badly. I would not be surprised if it also cleaves into PvE. Yeah, which would not be great. But there's plenty of times where, like, they make design changes because of PvP, and it hurts PvE. Yeah. Oh, the new button rotation will absolutely improve people's DPS. Yeah. At least we can get PI removed. Yeah, we'll see about that. Exclamation point setup, chicken. Exclamation point setup. The one button rotation thing, it's like 2 or 3 weeks from now or something like that. It's coming. It's on the way. I need Cinder Brew and Floodgate for my 17s. Almost done with all 17s. Pretty quick, too. Pretty quick. Currently, it's 35.76 for title. Cool. Currently. Yeah. Yeah, just your keys. It did. It really did shoot up with a boost. Yeah, you can check it here. March 15th. Boom. The spike. The spike. Looks like it kind of leveled out for some of the lower ranks, but I expected to keep on going up pretty quick. It's going up like 6 or 8 points a day or something like that. It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. I would love to try Priory 18 as Holy Priest, but I'm not as confident in that. Oh man. Maybe. Maybe it would be possible. And it's only because I popped, crazy. It's only because I popped. Because somebody missed a kick. Because somebody missed a kick. I actually don't even remember who. But it was definitely somebody. Who was that? I don't know. Well, I know it wasn't me. Well, I know it wasn't me. What else did I die to? I got double tap, lightning bolted. Oh yeah, there was like an invisible puddle. I swear, I know everybody says that, but there was absolutely an invisible puddle. Yeah. Yeah. Plenty of bad players who refuse to use tools that can make a huge improvement. The one button will be a similar thing. Yeah. Yep, I have seen that exactly firsthand as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do already have a top. Yeah. You know, Melody. You know. It was like on the train tracks and stuff, okay? It was Bad News Bears. It was Bad News Bears. Well, one of those people is definitely a tank. One of those people is absolutely a tank. They've got to be. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was the AMZ. Gotta be that. Yeah. I think I have example mouse over macros. Zat, if you want to just copy paste them. Let me see. Oh, true. They need lust. They need lust. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, just copy paste the mouse over macros. Then you have it for like flash heal. Just change it to PI. You'll be chilling. So yeah, there's a few different macros in there that are helpful. So work smarter, not harder. You link a bunch of those, repurpose for your needs. Easy game. I think I have some Smite and Penance ones in there too. For any gamers who are playing like Oracle Disc and want to be able to mash multiple penances in a row without clipping, without interrupting the other cast, it's really helpful. Very, very helpful. And there's the Bursting Light Shard macro that's also in there. So, a few different things. Yeah. Oh, it's resilient. Wait. I already got a priority 17. Damn. I was like, oh, it's resilient. So close. So close. Yo, what up, Way? When it's resilient, it will not lower its level. So if it's a level 17 and it's a resilient 17, then if you deplete it, then it just goes back to 17. It just goes back to 17. Oh yeah, what's our... I feel like we walked a bunch. Yeah, I had 14,000 steps. So we walked for like 3.5 hours, 3 hours. Yeah. We were vibing. So I do have a mother load already, unfortunately. I'm down to the very, very specific keystones. That's like the absorb effect spindle. The affix. Yeah. In cell, what I have is... I think it's under appearance. Yeah, under appearance, there's a heal absorb effect. So see that red marker? That's what it kind of shows as. It's like the negative heal absorb that you need to top off. So I have that just selected. So it shows up right there. Yeah. Appearance, heal absorb. Heal absorb, heal prediction, shield texture, over shield texture, etc. Insurance icon settings, you may be missing it. In my Discord, I have a full list of them, or you can just take a screenshot here. But insurance has a different spell ID for every individual healer. So you would need to just hit the plus sign and enter all these numbers. Yeah. But you could just manually add it into the indicators tab if you want to see them. If you prefer. I liked seeing them at the beginning of the season, but I haven't really focused on it too much since then, to be honest. Yeah. Fuck, we just sign up for stuff. Not something that changes how you play? Yeah, I thought it would, and over time I realized it just really didn't make a huge impact, so I stopped paying too much attention to it. But the option's there for people that want it. Let's get it. All right. All right, our second to last 17. Let me see, did IO update yet? We should be 3,500 with Holy Priest. Should be. Got me where you want me again, and I can't turn away. That's right, baby. We got our tank. It's time to lock in. Dude, I know it annoys the hell out of me, Amish, because I really enjoyed Horrific Visions, and when they take that away from you, and you're like, oh, well, you have to wait till next week. Haha. It's like, ugh. Yeah. Like, I would just do the Horrific Visions just to do them, you know? I mean, if they had gilded or they gave, like, good Valor Stones, I know they give you, like, 20, but I mean, like, good Valor Stones, I would do it for that, too. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if they made like world activities give you just a little bit more in the way of Valor Stones, like that would be great as well. Yeah. The Bloodstone thing is by killing the bosses in the zones. So you might have to do it a few different times, kill like 2 or 3 bosses, but you have to kill the end boss for those objectives. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of like the Valorstone farm is like you do a bunch of objectives and you get these radiant echoes from bountiful coffers in a bountiful delve, and then you cash it into the world soul memory, and then you kill some mobs, and then you get some Valor Stones out of that. It's so convoluted. I feel like it's so many steps to do it that it's actually not a good farm tactic. They're like, yeah, just get like 5 of them and then like cash it in and like all the work to get it. It's like, oh no. Oh no. I think that was with the boxes or whatever it was. Yeah. I believe so. I believe so. So. Yeah, of equal eye level, Moxie Jug's just a little bit better than House of Cards. They're both pretty close, though. Yeah, Holy Oracle Priest is top for rating. It's very good. In my Wowhead guides, they're up to date. They've been up to date for a bit, and they have the rotation breakdown and like how to play and stuff like that all in there. All in there. Somewhere far away from here. Stuck at low eye level, so you didn't want to force people to carry your rat. Yeah. I mean, the Hollow Fall events, I think, are quite good for gearing up fresh characters. And they also give you some Valor Stones as you do them. So that should be pretty good. That should be. Seedling self-heal placed out of the way to handle the overheal protection? Not usually. Like, if you get some, like, flash heal procs or something like that, Conti, you could just kind of, like, dump 1 or 2 into yourself here and there, but you're not spending the entire time doing it. Yeah. A lot of prayer healing in raids, yeah. Try to make sure you're using it during, like, prayer circles so you can be a little bit more efficient, but yeah, you want to definitely do it when you can. Definitely want to do it when you can. The white plate transmog from Halifal? Yeah, those look sick. Yep. There's not that much damage going to heal. Yeah, especially on a lot of early bosses. You're just like overhealing like crazy. That's why during the piety uptime, then you want to be like really aggressive with prayer of healing casts and stuff. So you're going to be super, super aggressive if you can. Holy Priest, the tier list? It's probably like Disc S tier, Pally, Shaman A tier. So I don't know, maybe B tier for Holy Priest, A tier, A minus. Probably B tier. It's probably B tier. I mean, I still think that you can get title on it. We're 50 points out of title range as Holy Priest. And I'm already in range as Disc. So we're not in too bad a shape. I really want to re-roll this stupid Cinder Brew. If I had like an 18 that was not Cinder Brew, I would probably try to just run my own key. I'd probably just try to do that. NA trying to find tanks, man. Really good though, Sunday. We got 17s is holy in almost every single key. We just need to get Floodgate and Cinderbrew. And then we'll have all 17s is holy. So yeah, 18s is gonna be a pretty big step up. That'll be pretty challenging, but I just gotta find time to like run my own key and everything this week. Run my Cinderbrew 19, get a chance to grind that out. And then if it depletes, we can always just keep on re-rolling it on 18s and just run my own key. And then try to get Holy Priest in title range. Hopefully. Hopefully. He relented. We have a tank. Let's go. Folded, rolled a Ret Pally. Now I feel unstoppable and the damn 15s are melting. That's why Ret Pally is the new BM hunter in modern WoW. assume that he's running 2-minute ascendants, but we'll see. When's it okay to leave a key? I think you kind of ask. Like, it just sort of depends on like context. If you're doing like a 10 or 12 or something like that, it's later in the week. You're like, are people doing it for completion for their vault, or are they doing it for IO? I think you kind of just ask. You kind of just ask. It should aggro, yeah. It should. I know, we're waiting on our tank. I think he said he's flying. Okay, he's almost here. He's almost here. Yeah. Finally, let's get it. Yeah, your premonition resets when the boss resets. Yep, good question. Yeah. Lock you in a cage. Alright, team, we ready? I got enlightenment. I got purge if I need it.
4, 3, 2.
Broncos country, let's ride. Dude, I know it's the worst aggro. If you're doing it by farming M+, though, try to find somebody in the group that's going to gain IO, because then that'll give you 50 additional Valor Stones for the entire party. It's a little extra benefit. A little something, something.
Empowered. Empowered.
Which key's the hardest to heal? Floodgate's got a good amount of challenges. I think, obviously, like, Candle King's the hardest healing fight. But I think what is really hard for me is dungeons like Cinderbrew, where you just don't really have a lot of control. There's just so many times where people just kind of like bleed out and die to like combo casts and multiple various events happening at the same exact time. I think those are like the hardest to deal with as a healer. And they're certainly the most frustrating. Certainly most frustrating. Let's symbol. Symbol for the boys. Delenko, thank you for the 14 months. Well, I'm glad you were able to fix being sub to Kalamazoo. Sorry to hear it, man.
Empowered.
So helpful that the 4 premonition buffs look like identical twins. I know, right? Isn't it great having like brown, dark, yellow, like an orange and shit? Yeah. Well, we're fucked.
I simply wish you had lasted a little longer.
Oh, apparently it is Brazil. Nice. Yeah, making them like very unique colors would go really hard. Yeah, and the Wowhead had us do these like mid-season review type things, and that was one of the biggest things I said with Premonition was like make them actually look different just a little. I also pissed people off with Disc because I was like, hey, Brazil's boring, or sorry, Lenience is boring. They should get rid of it. Everyone's like, what the fuck? You want us nerfed? I really fucking procced people with that one. They were really upset.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Should I not hold my breath that we may eventually get a way to upgrade Dinar purchased items? They're not going to do that. Sorry. They're not going to do that.
Empowered.
They haven't said anything about it, so I wouldn't hold my breath. Yeah, they certainly should, but do not see them doing it. If they would, or they were going to, they would have said something already. Yo, how you doing, Cola? How's the IO adventure's been treating you, dude? Struggle yourself into 18s? That's the spirit. Hey, you already got one down this big. Already shows you can do it, you know? Alright, I'm gonna try to do this a little better this time. The second I see him pop Fiery Brand, we symbol. Cast the Guardian Spirit. And Edge. Maybe DC? Yeah, I don't know. No, he just declined the res. No, he has res pending. Plug pull? Rip. I guess a plug pull. I guess a plug pull. A random act of God. Weird, weird, weird. Ugh. Who's lost on how to play disc? Yeah, there was an attempt. We tried. We tried. Pooling holy words is like holding on to them, like building up your holy words and holding them for specific moments. Preparing them and putting them together for when you need them. Oh, the no-com 17-18s. Yeah, I feel ya. Yeah, it's been pretty fun doing them as Holy Priest, too. It's been pretty fun. I do gotta find a time to run my own key. But yeah, we are 3,500 flat. No, 3,509. 0.7 as Holy Priest. And 3,675 as disc. So we got most of our 17s. We got most of our 17s up today. Just got 2 more to go. Yep. Just getting into M+, did your first M2, play a healer, I find tank a lot more fun, where it's going to be terrible to learn M+ as a tank. You won't know until you try, though. If you think about it. Yeah. You never know. Here we go, number 9. Number 9. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, Tweety. Different role made you better at your main. That's true. Yeah. It definitely, like, once you get a better understanding of, like, what everybody else is going through, it makes it easier to help them out, like, find those struggle points, things like that, you know? It always helps a lot. Yeah. Dude, if there was, like, a gladiator mount or something for WoW M+, oh my god, that would be sick. Yeah. If only. Hey, Jack, Ronnie Coleman has a 23 rookery. I'm looking to 3 chests for your 25 top. Can you heal? Dude, that's some great math. Holy shit. Yeah, we're gonna 3 chest your 23. Nice math. There's no greater sin in World of Warcraft than being bad at math. You know? You gonna stream this, Cal? Just in Florida. Understandable. How to improve WoW earlier. I was thinking maybe we could remove information from healers so they can't be good at their jobs. Thoughts? You're angling for a big promotion at Blizzard, baby. Let's go. Oh, man. Did I show you guys this insane cursed comment that I just got on one of my videos? So it was a video about resilient keys. And it says, paying to try to get IO is like paying for a gym membership. Paying for an outright boost is like just buying a BBL. Jack's point in this is you should be like the surgeon. His surgeon. He recommends his surgeon. Jack has a BBL. Those thunderous claps you hear when he walks aren't his keyboard or his mouse. It's his big, juicy ass. Which one of you did this? That was me, sorry. Yeah. Oh, man. What a comment. What a comment. The treadmill? Right here for you. Let me link it. Yeah. Yeah. Is the hardest healer the worst performing one? Usually. Yeah. Certainly, it's a Brazilian butt lift, soy. Yeah. The more you know. I'm glad to teach you something new today, you know? Yeah, I'm glad to teach you something new today. Yeah. Be back later. Brazil mentioned. Oh, man. Written note from you to give these to group leaders they invite you. There you go. I do carry runs as like my guild and stuff for Mythic. Yeah. Sorry, John. This cake's all natural. All natural. Gonzi, thank you for the new sub, dude. Shadow Arc? That happened back in, like, Legion. Not consistently with M+ carries. Sometimes I'll help some friends with, like, their title carries and stuff, but not often. Yep. You should not text the kids BBL in 10 minutes. You should not. Oh, man. I subs for title carries? Dude, if I could. If I wouldn't get banned for RMT. Oh, dead in a heartbeat. Well, a certain streamer. Yeah. A certain streamer did that. And he never got... It took the community bullying, basically, for him to actually stop doing that. But, yeah. People have tried to do that in the past. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I did, Amish. I did. Yep. Alright, dudes. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill for the day. I'll be, I want to see if I can get this video done. get my thoughts together for all the add-on mess and see if I can get that out early tomorrow and get it going. I know, John. Sometimes it'd be that way. We'll try to have a longer stream tomorrow. Sorry, me just tired. I don't wanna force stream when I'm not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. You know. But yeah, I'll be back 1 p.m. Eastern. Better spit it out, Gords. I'm going soon. All right, I'm off. Later, guys. Take it easy. I will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll get on and slam some keys, all right? GG's. Whoop.